When was the last time you really listened to your own voice? Not just the words, but the sound, the strength, the energy behind it. For many people over 65, the voice begins to change. Sometimes it gets softer, sometimes it cracks, and sometimes it feels harder to control. It might seem like just another part of aging, but here's the surprising truth. Your voice can reveal more about your health than you realize. Think about it. Your voice is how you tell your children you love them, how you laugh with friends, how you sing along to your favorite song. When your voice changes, it doesn't just affect the sound. It can affect your confidence, your relationships, and even your safety, especially when you need to call out for help. So today we're going to explore why changes in your voice after 65 matter so much and what they might be trying to tell you. Point 1. The natural aging of the voice. Let's start with the basics. Just like your joints may feel stiffer or your eyesight may dim a little, your voice also changes with age. The medical word for this is presbyphonia, which simply means aging voice. As we get older, the muscles of the vocal cords lose some of their tone, and the tissues may thin out. This makes the voice sound weaker, breathier, or higher-pitched in men, and sometimes lower-pitched in women. Take Mary, a 72-year-old grandmother. She loved reading aloud to her grandkids, but lately she found herself repeating lines because her voice just didn't carry the way it used to. She thought she was losing her role as the family storyteller, but when her doctor explained that it was a natural part of aging, Mary felt relieved, because knowing what's normal gave her the confidence to keep using her voice proudly. The key message here: voice changes are often natural, but being aware of them helps you notice when something isn't. Point 2. Dryness and hydration. One of the most common reasons your voice feels different after 65 is something very simple: dryness. As we age, our bodies produce less saliva and mucus. This may not sound important, but that thin layer of moisture is what helps your vocal cords vibrate smoothly. Without it, the voice can sound scratchy, tired, or strained. Think about John, a 68-year-old retired teacher. He had always been the loud, clear storyteller at family gatherings. But recently his voice cracked halfway through conversations. He assumed it was old age. In truth, John was simply dehydrated. With a little more water, fewer cups of coffee, and even using a humidifier at night, John's voice became stronger again. It's a simple reminder that sometimes the smallest habits, like staying hydrated, make the biggest difference. Point 3. Acid reflux and hidden irritation. But not every change is about dryness. Some are about irritation. Acid reflux, which many people develop as they get older, can silently creep up and damage the vocal cords. Here's how it works. When stomach acid flows upward, even in small amounts, it can inflame the throat and leave the vocal cords red and swollen. The result? Hoarseness, a chronic cough, or a voice that sounds raspy in the mornings. Susan, age 70, lived with this for years. Friends often asked if she had a cold because her voice was always rough. She didn't realize that acid reflux was the real culprit until her doctor suggested testing. Once she changed her diet and started treatment, her voice became clearer, and she felt like herself again. This story shows why paying attention to your voice can save you years of frustration. Point 4. Neurological clues. The voice as an early warning. Sometimes voice changes can reveal much more than a throat issue. They can point to neurological conditions. For example, Parkinson's disease often shows up first in the voice. People may notice their voice gets softer, loses energy, or sounds more monotone. It's not always easy to connect the dots, but doctors can. Robert, at 66, was known for his booming laughter. But one day his daughter pointed out that she could barely hear him on the phone. He brushed it off as just age, but when he finally told his doctor, it led to an early diagnosis of Parkinson's. Because he caught it early, Robert was able to start treatment sooner, giving him more years of independence and energy. This is one of the most powerful reasons to pay attention. Your voice can be an early messenger of hidden health changes. Point 5. Respiratory and heart health reflected in the voice. Your voice depends on breath. Every word you speak rides on air from your lungs. That's why changes in your breathing, whether from lung conditions or heart health, can show up in your voice. If you notice yourself running out of breath mid-sentence, or if your voice sounds unusually weak, it may not just be getting older. It could be your body struggling with reduced lung capacity, asthma, or even early signs of heart disease. Margaret, 74, thought it was normal to feel winded during her walking group conversations. But after mentioning it to her doctor, she discovered early heart problems that she could treat before they became dangerous. Her voice was literally her first clue. So when your voice changes alongside shortness of breath, it's worth paying close attention. Point 6. Emotional health and connection. Our voices don't just reflect physical health, they reflect emotional health too. Stress, grief, loneliness, and depression can all change the way we sound. George, a widower at 71, found that his once lively, warm voice grew quieter and sometimes trembled when he spoke. His children worried, not just because of the sound, but because they knew it meant something deeper. When George joined a community group, started sharing stories again, and laughed with friends, his voice naturally regained strength. The lesson here: your voice is tied to your emotions. Caring for your heart and mind helps care for your voice too. Point 7. Practical steps to care for your voice. Now, what can you do to keep your voice strong after 65? Stay hydrated. Drink water throughout the day. Warm teas with honey can soothe the throat. Avoid irritants. Cut down on smoking, alcohol, and too much caffeine. Protect your voice. Don't strain by shouting. Use a microphone if needed in large groups. Keep active. Breathing exercises and gentle humming strengthen vocal cords. Check in with doctors. If hoarseness or weakness lasts longer than 2 weeks, don't ignore it. And perhaps most importantly, use your voice. Sing, tell stories, read aloud, laugh. Just like muscles, your vocal cords stay healthier when they are used regularly. Your voice is one of the most personal gifts you have. It carries your wisdom, your history, your love. After 65, changes are normal, but sometimes they are whispers from your body, telling you to slow down, to take care, or to seek help. So, let me ask you, have you noticed changes in your own voice or in someone close to you? How did it affect you? Share your experiences in the comments. I'd love to hear from you, and your story might help someone else. If you found this video helpful, please give it a like, subscribe for more gentle health insights, and share it with someone who might benefit. Because together we can make growing older not just about adding years to life, but adding life to those years.